After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale and use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast, a special Discord live today. I guess not live, a special Discord snow day. Hopefully everybody has been safe so far this weekend. You guys are staying warm, staying dry. I had to go out to my car to get my earbuds before this, and I'm just like a typical Northeastern Ohio guy, and I was like, this is no big deal. I just had shorts and a cutoff, slipped on my boots. It did not go well. I had lots of snow in my boots. I had to shovel a path. It was tough. So hopefully you guys are having better luck with me out there in the snow today. I'm not acclimated yet. I'm just going to stay inside the rest of the day. We got a fun one lined up. We got a ton of people here in the Discord to help us along with this episode. We're going to get a lot of their thoughts today. If you want to get thoughts on the show, join thedogs.com, become a Dog Pack member. You get to be a part of these Discord episodes. It's a great time, not only for these episodes, but just 24/7, 365 talking Browns or pretty much anything else. Earlier today, we were all nerding out on some Harry Potter. So it's got a little bit of something for everybody. So that's jointhedogs.com if you want to become a Dog Pack member. If you also just want to get thoughts and intros and voicemails on the show, head to thedogspodcast.com, tap leave voicemail. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content that we're putting out. You can listen to the podcast on just Apple or Spotify, and you can find us on any of the social media platforms. Just search at the Dogs Podcast. Obviously today, Browns coaching search still going on. They kind of pulled a quick one on us yesterday, interviewing. It's Anthony Lynn, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So we are now Rooney Rule compliant, which I feel like we should all sit. We will be once we interview. How do you pronounce it? Is it Shieldhouse?
Yeah, Shieldhouse.
Yeah. House. I just we should all, as Browns fans, send Anthony Lynn like a thank you card, because he knows he has no shot. He's not a candidate for this position. He must have owed Andrew Berry a favor.
Well, they got Tom Telesco on the head coaching search with him, and he's the one who hired Anthony Lynn out in, I guess it was Los Angeles Chargers. So there's a relationship there. It's got to be, I'm sure it was hey, can you just... You're down here in Florida. We're down here in Florida. Come do a quickie on the interview side of things.
Well, he was a running backs coach one year too, was he not?
Yeah, a while ago.
Years ago.
Ashton says, "I wonder if they made him do the homework." It was his first one, so I bet you not. What do you? I guess the first thing we should talk about. How do you guys feel about Telesco being a part of this? I don't know. Maybe there's history I don't know about, but the history I do know about, love it. I don't know about how you guys feel.
I'm in agreement with you, man. I just don't know what he's really done. Like, the resume that we know of, again, doesn't look too good. And again, unless we're missing something, I'm agreeing with you, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was just going to say that Telesco, if for anybody out there that's not familiar or whatever, Telesco was with the Chargers for quite a while. He hired 3 head coaches while he was the GM there. He hired Mike McCoy from 2013 to 16. Dude had a 27-37 record, and then Anthony Lynn from 2017 to 2020 had a 33-31 record. It's the only one with a winning record. And then, of course, Brandon Staley from 21 to 23 had a 24-24 record. And then he got hired on as the GM with the Raiders in, what was that? I guess I've been 2024, I think.
2024.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then now
Right.
he didn't hire Antonio Pierce. They had already made the decision they were moving forward with Antonio Pierce, who was the interim the year before. He came in as the GM, and then they both got quickly fired after 1 year stint in Las Vegas. So there's Tom Telesco for everybody.
I do have like positive on this, guys. I feel like that was a whole lot of negative stuff.
Yes, it was.
So I do have positive. He was basically in charge of scouting for the Indianapolis Colts during the Peyton Manning era, it's saying, like beginning to end. So I mean, if you want to bring a guy in, I guess maybe not for the head coaching portion, does it make sense? But I mean, if you're bringing him along as just a guy with experience, I'm trying to make sense of it, but it's just seems maybe a little unprepared for it.
I feel like in the beginning of that sentence, Justin was trying to be positive, and then by the end, he was being extremely negative.
Yeah, he was.
Sorry about that.
I had some positive talk about this, and 8 years later,
then I started reasoning in it with myself, and I was like, well, yeah.
You had me feeling good there for like 5 seconds, man.
Good. Thank you. You're welcome.
Him being a part of the coaching search isn't the first kind of like head scratching thing to go on in this search. I know, like we've talked about it a ton in the Discord about how we feel the coaching search is going for the Browns. It was all Grant Udinski for like a long time. He was the number one candidate. Now we're kind of getting the smoke and the vibe that it's all Nate Shieldhouse, and we're going out to LA tomorrow to interview him. And the hire could come maybe as soon as tomorrow, because once we interview him, we'll be Rooney Rule compliant. Of course, Grant Udinski interviewing in Buffalo today, or down in Florida, but with the Buffalo Bills organization. How do you guys feel about the direction and how this coaching search has gone? Like, what? Because I know, like my vibe on this has just been like, just like not being great. I almost feel like what's left. I know some people are getting really excited for Shieldhouse. I don't know. It feels like scraps to me. I don't know how you guys feel.
I know that I listened to Jimmy Haslam and what he said is the presser as soon as Stefanski got relieved. And to me, like this 120-day reset, that was vitally important for me to hear. And as we're into day 20 now, day 21, I mean, I don't feel like we've moved in a great direction. First of all, what I would have done is I would have reached out to Deuce Staley. He's been an assistant head coach in the last 3 stops he's at. I'd figure out like why does this guy keep getting these nominations, and I would have that specific interview out of the way and be more Rooney Rule compliant. Like if you want to get someone and it's the domino has to fall for the head coach, you have to get all your ducks in a row, and the Rooney Rule is a major one. It seems like that's been the most mismanaged thing out of it all. And then you could move on to whatever coach you want, but we seem to be stuck in limbo, and nothing seems to be a well-oiled machine in this. If I think you guys would agree.
Yeah, well, I do Staley wouldn't satisfy the Rooney Rule, though, because they have to be external candidates. So I saw people on social media saying like, yeah, just bring in Callie Bronson or whatever, interview the one. I'm like, you can't interview people in your organization and have it count toward the rule. So it's got to be external. And like Blake said, with Shieldhouse tomorrow, they will be Rooney Rule compliant. You guys know I'm different. Like I'm more excited. I've been on the Udinski train before we even announced we were going to request to interview him, a month ago. And then Shieldhouse intrigues me. I feel better about going with a younger, unproven, up-and-coming, offensive-minded guy that we don't know what he's capable of versus what the Steelers did the other day and hire Mike McCarthy, where it's like, I know what we got there. I don't feel... Would you be more excited with Nate Shieldhouse or Mike McCarthy as the head coach?
I would not. I probably wouldn't like either. if I'm being, I wouldn't like. Here's my issue with Shieldhouse. Dude's a passing game coordinator. He's not an offensive coordinator. Has he ever even been? I'd have to do some. Has he been a position coach?
Yeah, he called plays for Iowa State when he was there as offensive coordinator.
Iowa State, okay,
yep.
A big time college football program there. And there's all this, of course, I'm excited about the coaching tree he's coming from, and maybe some of the offensive thoughts he has about how to revitalize the offense. There's so much more to being the head coach of the entire football team than just knowing some offense. And I don't know. It's to me, it's Freddie Kitchens. It could be great, but I think there's a way higher probability it's Freddie Kitchens than it is great. To go from passing game coordinator straight to head coach that's a wild leap in responsibility. It's like taking somebody from an entry level position at your job and just handing them a CEO role. They didn't work their way up through the company. You thought they were a great entry level worker, and you just said, you get to be the plant manager now. That's wild. That's a huge leap in responsibility. So to me, it scares me. If we hire him, I'm excited to see what he can do with the offense, but I don't know. It just I don't really love any of the candidates, and it's just, they all scare me a lot. And me, and then also with the homework thing, making people write essays and all these personality tests. And then you find out that Shieldhouse is a top candidate. He'd be willing to keep on Schwartz. To me, it sounds kind of like this is the only guy who would put up with the Browns crap. So this is who we're going to hire because he said yes enough times to all the things we wanted candidates to say yes to. Also, hiring this 35-year-old passing game coordinator, but then keeping Jim Schwartz and keeping Andrew Berry tells me that the organization thinks the only reason we sucked last year was because of Kevin Stefanski, which is wild to me. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think it's great at all. I don't know. Just be excited, but I'm inclined to think it'll go bad more than I'm inclined to think it's going to go good.
Blake, I get it. I am like a dumb, blind optimist with this team. I will literally just follow blindly just based on the love of Cleveland sports and fandom. But I think that it's fair at this point in the search to go, as an organization, we're probably not high on a lot of coaching candidates lists. And as far as just when I was listening to Rich Eisen's show the other day, I was driving home and they were talking about the homework and personality tests and stuff like that. And they were just talking about, it's a very analytic driven search. And, it seems they're still going to go through the same kind of processes that they always have under, Deep Podesta, even though this is Andrew Berry's first, head coaching search for, a candidate. I feel like we just continue to make the same just fundamental mistakes as an organization. When Buffalo fired McDermott, I was kind of intrigued, and I'm not saying that he would ever want to come to Cleveland, but the idea, and same thing with the Harbaugh and, guys like that, the idea of having a coach that, a proven, hey, let's go and we can go win the big game and proven leader is very intriguing. But at the same time, the idea that we can get a young offensive guy like a Udinski, if he doesn't go to Buffalo, and we can bring him to Cleveland, a guy that, is highly regarded in, coaching circles right now. That would be very, very exciting. I worry that he signs today, though, with Buffalo.
I keep thinking Buffalo's more for Brian Daboll. I just get the vibe there with what Josh Allen has said about him, them bringing him back in there to be the head coach. We'll see how it goes. Today's definitely going to be interesting with Udinski going there for the interview. You guys want to, let's get Brad up here. We haven't gotten anybody on stage yet. Brad, what's up, man?
Guys.
What's up, my man?
Oh, man, this snowstorm's crazy. Oh, wait. I only got a couple inches up here. Sorry. I know the South got obliterated.
We got hammered. So what's up?
Yeah. So, so I find it really funny that like the Steelers decided to go with Mike McCarthy. You like, what was the rush like? Because obviously I'm surrounded by Steelers fans, so I have friends that are Steelers fans, and like my buddy that's like pretty hardcore Steelers fan, like literally calls me. He's like, "Yo, what the hell are we doing, bro? Are we the Cleveland Browns now? Are we gonna be trash?" Like, and I'm like, "Dog, I don't know what you guys are doing." I mean, I thought the Rooneys were the best head coach hire people in the league, but from what I keep hearing is Art 2 is not Art 1, and a lot of people feel, at least a lot of Steelers fans feel, that like he's literally destroying the franchise. So I guess we're kind of in the same boat as owners go. I mean, you've seen the owner from the Bills just totally freaking back the bus over on one of his players, and then they promote a GM that everybody hates in Buffalo, and they're interviewing Phillip Rivers. Like, what is going on in Buffalo? Like, and now we're down to the basically the bottom 3 trash teams that nobody wants to be a head coach for. I mean, the Raiders. Yeah, you get Fernando Mendoza, but that ownership over there, man, they keep going, they keep firing coaches like every couple of years. Like, it's just like us.
Yeah,
like,
but
new coach a year, man.
All the buzz right now is the Raiders are still open because it's Clint Kubiak, and they can't hire him, obviously, because he's still in the playoffs. So as far as that one being I mean, I get it. I get the history isn't good, but I don't think it's completely undesirable. I just don't think their main candidate is available yet.
Bro, I think that's a desirable job.
I think so too.
You're getting the number 1 pick. Don't get me wrong, they need an offensive line, but you have a young stud running back. You've got a young stud tight end. You've got weapons. I think,
Max
and then you are sitting with the number 1 pick. You either can go and you can take your franchise guy, if you believe it's Mendoza, or you get a haul and you build your roster. And I think that's a desirable position, better position than to me personally than Cleveland.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I know, like, I didn't necessarily want Mike McCarthy for the Browns, but are we so sure it's going to be a disaster in Pittsburgh?
I didn't say it would be a disaster. I think it's going to be more of the same. Yeah.
He 3 years in a row in Dallas, they won 12 games.
Yep.
He had one of the best offenses in the league all 3 of those years.
But you always trash Mike McCarthy, and now you're.
I'm just but I don't love the guy. I don't know.
How many playoff games did they win in Dallas?
He'll probably coach it. Huh?
How many playoff games did they win in Dallas? Do you have that up? Because I don't remember. I feel like it was 0, wasn't it?
They won. I'm just saying,
it looks like they're making like a more concerted effort to be in the pass game. Like, that's
their biggest issue has been offense, since forever now. And they got an offensive coach now, and it's an offensive coach who's, compared to all the guys on the market, if you're the Steelers, do you want some 30-year-old never done it, or a guy who won 12 games 3 years in a row, 4,000-yard passers, and has won a Super Bowl? So, like, even though I don't love Mike McCarthy, to just like sit here and say like Steelers fall off is going to be crazy because they hired Mike McCarthy, I don't think they'll fall off. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't see a fall off because they hired Mike McCarthy.
Keep in mind too, man, there's a real serious chance if they can talk Aaron Rodgers into coming back. I know he's going to be like 43 years old. There's chemistry there between those two. I know, like, it maybe not have ended well in Green Bay, but I kind of feels like the band's getting back together.
I don't know. Like I said, he's a little bit older, like, I don't know. He's better than mid. But I don't necessarily love the guy. They're a stable organization. I just don't see, like, they're not going to be terrible now. Like, I would still pick the Steelers to finish above us next year in the AFC North.
Yeah, like again, it's a concerted effort to get their offense out of the Stone Age. They were just a 3 yards and cloud of dust type offense with Arthur Smith. And I think they want to go more like a West Coast style that McCarthy brings, use some receivers in a shorter passing game to a long passing game, and, replicate what they did in Dallas, or what he did in Dallas.
I mean, they didn't hire Bill Belichick. Like, to me, that would have been a worse hire, or like a Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? At least they got an offensive guy.
Oh yeah, those hires would have definitely been worse for sure. This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Which team will win the Super Bowl? Who will be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns or whatever other team is looking for a head coach? Will Fernando Mendoza be the first pick in the NFL draft? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, Kalshi is giving $20 to anyone who signs up at kalshi.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trades $100. And right now, I believe there's a promo going on for $10 if you just sign up with kalshi.com/dogs, even without trading the 100. So get away with disadvantageous sports books and dive into real world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to kalshi.com/dogs, DAWGS, or click the link in the description below to get $20 when you trade 100 on Kalshi. That's Kalshi, because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?
Since 1989, Mount Hope Fence has set the standard in outdoor living. From decks and railings to fences and patios, we've got you covered. Our lineup features top brands like TimberTech, AlumaGuard, Preferred Railing, and Unilock, along with our own premium Duralux vinyl products. For over 30 years, we've partnered with contractors ensuring reliable job site delivery. Discover quality and excellence in all things outdoors with Mount Hope Fence.
After the holidays, there's so much to clean up and get ready for the coming year. This leaves me exhausted and a lot of things falling off my to-do list. It's time to lock in, and Omaha Steaks delivers everything you crave to reset after the holidays. An order from them means having high-quality Omaha steaks on hand at all times. I'm a big meat lover myself, and I always go with medium rare. But there's also plenty of poultry and other options available. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. A family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. Let Omaha Steaks deliver high-quality proteins right to your door. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code YUM at checkout. That's OMAHA steaks.com, promo code YUM. Terms apply. See site for details. Go to www.omahasteaks.com to get 50% off site-wide during their end-of-season sale. And use promo code YUM at checkout for an extra $35 off. Minimum purchase may apply. Thanks to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring us.
Out of our possible head coach options, honestly, I'm okay. I know some are iffy about the young guy thing, but like if we want to reset this organization as far as coaching goes and start anew and build around a guy and basically get this thing back on track, I'm okay with a young guy that's innovative, that brings a modern offense where we've, had vanilla offenses on the field. And I know, Blake, the talent on the field. I know, I get it. But like, it's just like, we got to just have a modern off, be innovative. We got to, and yeah, we got to get talent on this team. But I'm ready for a new start, and be it Shieldhouse or Udinski. I'm more on the Udinski side a little bit just because of how he came up a little bit. But when I watch, interviews with Nate and everything, he is very inventive. I would love to have both, but obviously that's not going to happen. But it could. But I'm excited for it. On another side of things, I have the Seahawks and the Patriots winning today. Who do you guys have winning today?
Denver with the upset. Call it.
Denver with the upset.
Josh's guy, Jared Stidham.
That's right. Who used to play for the Patriots.
I'm going Pats Rams.
Me too. Pats Rams.
Okay.
I will go Broncos. I like the Seahawks a lot, and I just don't know if they can win 3 times. But give me the Seahawks. Broncos and Seahawks, baby. This one's for you, Robert.
I agree with you, man. That's the reason why I'm picking the Rams. I just don't know if they can go 3 in a row. I agree with you, man, on that part for sure. I got a question for you guys. About this head coach. We haven't brought it up yet. I don't think Josh has really brought it up through the last 2 weeks either. How do you guys think the Deshaun Watson and all his damn salary sitting on the end of that bench as an anchor is affecting this coaching search? Like, do you think a guy like Moncton's going to come in and say, listen, man, I can fix this guy. Here's what I did with Lamar Jackson. This is what I'm going to do for him. I know that he had these 3 injuries or whatever, and this is how we're gonna make you look better, Jimmy. Is Grant coming in here and saying that, right? Because we can say and do whatever we want on this podcast, but that guy's got a lot of money and he's tying up a lot of resources, and sometimes I think they're going to have to use them, whether it's Shador or you know what I mean. So, what's your guys' thought on that?
I don't think he'll ever play for the Browns again.
What do you do with him though?
You just
if he can play, like if he's healthy and he can play, you can't keep him off.
As the owner, less than a year ago, the owner came out and said, basically called him a failed trade. You're just not, I don't think you're putting that guy back on the field. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the owner has publicly talked about how the trade set the team back, how he was a failed trade, how he's not good anymore, essentially. And I just don't see how, like, I don't see him being a linchpin in terms of like the coach we hire. I don't think the Browns really have any interest in putting him on the field. At least that's great. But I know the numbers are big, and this by no means do I want to see this happen. But for some reason, my gut's telling me that this may be a thing, right? And I just don't know how you navigate it. And the other thing that it might be is just might be turning guys off. That might be the other factor to it. I just don't want to deal with this guy on the end of the bench, like, because you can't cut him. You just can't cut him. He's like $130 million dead cap hit or something like that. Like, it's crazy. At this point, I just would, if I was the Browns, I just would have done like what the Broncos did. They just sucked it up and cut Russell Wilson. I just would have done it.
Based on the last 2 years, I wish.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't winning. We weren't going to win any games anyways. So at least you could just cut him and be rid of him and be done.
Do we know? Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, go ahead. My only thing with that is I just think just injuries pile up. Maybe he's like the third on the bench after. It's so early. We don't even know what the quarterback room looks like going into next year. But I got to think Shador's starting, especially if you bring in a young coach to, revamp the offense. Probably Gabriel behind him, and then you got Watson. But who knows, if the offensive line is still dog crap, we let, pass rushers at free will get to our quarterbacks. There's a chance that this guy could still play for the Browns for sure.
Okay, so listen to this, though. I know cut him and everything. The Broncos, when they cut Russell Wilson, he had an $85 million dead cap. They were able to spread that over 2 years, $53 million in 1 year and $32 in 2025. Deshaun Watson right now has a dead cap of $131 million. Yeah. So it's what, $50 million more than Russell Wilson.
Did you split that over 2 years though?
$60 million in dead cap every year.
It's still a ton.
The Broncos, you just said the Broncos had 58 in 1 year, so you just would have had to basically do that 2 years in a row instead of 1 year. And that's what his dead cap hit is now. What would it have been 2 years ago? Well, I mean, they've restructured and rolled over times now.
It's $131 million in 2026. There's also a $50 million dead cap in 27 and a $25 million in 28. So I don't think it's that cut and dry. He's on the roster. Like, there is 0% chance he's not on the active roster next year. And unless they pull a Houston Texans and just make him inactive every week, like they did whenever they were done with him, when he was still on their roster, it's hard to envision the Browns not playing him because we play every quarterback that's on our roster every year.
Yep.
Plus some.
100%.
And that's
100%.
kind of where I'm going with it. So, like, if you're going to have to play him, do you make him good? Is that a selling point? But I'm with you, Blake. Like, I don't want to see it, but the sense, the dollars tell me that it's going to happen.
Well,
it'd be very Cleveland Browns fashion for him to get some starts, ball the hell out, look all pro again for like 4 games, and then the contract's over. That would just be very fitting.
Or he gets hurt again.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, that works too.
Let's get Colton up here real quick and see what he's got to say. Colton, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, so how nice was it this week seeing some of this Cleveland drama bleed into other franchises with, Baker and his tweet and then, firing at Stefanski and whatnot. So I think for drama, I'd love to face Atlanta week 1. Just for the excitement of it all, might as well make it interesting, not knowing what we're going to have next year. But talking a little bit about the whole Deshaun thing, we've spent this much money. I just said this in the chat, but I think I might be the only one. I want to see what he can do under another offense. I'm that blind optimist, just like Justin is with everything Cleveland football. I am as dumb as a box of rocks, and I think I passed it on to my kids too, which is an absolute shame.
Don't worry about it, man. Me too, bro.
Yeah. I'm just I don't understand how he fell off so bad, being a top 5 quarterback in Houston. We took the big swing, and I'll never knock him for doing that. I mean, I think we had such a team built around him that could have won in maybe a year or 2 with him coming in. But I want to see maybe what one of these young, innovative head coaches could do and see if they could get him moved in the right direction.
So
if not,
go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
If not, I don't want to just see him sitting there. I hate to just have that dead cap hit, but the only saving grace would be you're paying a rookie starting quarterback on a 5th round salary. So it definitely lessens the blow. But I don't know if we're going to pay him, let's see what he's got.
Right. So I'll just say real quick. I'm not saying that I think Deshaun Watson can play for the Browns and be great. That's not what I'm saying. But at the same time, I do remember the last time he played well, and somewhat consistently well for the Browns was 2023 before he got hurt. He had the shoulder injury, and then we remember he came back for that game, the second half against Baltimore, all that stuff, and then he was out for the rest of the year. That was the last year we had Alex Van Pelt in the building, and I know there's been a lot of speculation that he had a lot more impact on that offense than what people understand, because then the following year was when Ken Dorsey came in, and that's when we saw no good games from Deshaun Watson. And the quarterback play started to get really bad the last couple seasons without Alex Van Pelt. So I just wonder if that had more to play than we realized. But I think there is
crazy pills. I can't be the only guy who remembers him just throwing the ball into the ground.
Yeah, 2024. I told you. Yeah, it was bad.
That's every quarterback for the Browns for the last 3 years, man.
From the rip, just watching him, and we called it rust, even though 65-year-old Phillip Rivers came into a game this year. We saw what he can do, guys. He sucks. Yeah. He made a living in Houston running around and making plays. He held the ball forever in Houston, but he got away with it because he was more athletic and could run and could escape pressure. Too many injuries, too many times off. He can't read a defense, and then he looks slow. He doesn't run away from D ends anymore. He doesn't evade pressure anymore. He doesn't make plays in the run game anymore. And then he's just not accurate. He just chucks the ball into the ground. He lived off his athleticism. He never got it up here, and it caught up to him. I mean, come on. I can't be the only one who remembers just watching him just throw the ball into the ground.
Dude, nobody's saying that he's going to come back and be good. We're just saying he's probably going to end up playing for us at some point if he's on the active roster.
Like to talk seeing what he can do, and it doesn't matter what offense. It doesn't matter what offense.
Oh, yeah. The offense that he did in Houston was off-script creation, right? Like, they had him out of the shotgun. They had him in spread concepts. That is exactly the opposite of what Stefanski does, right? The other thing that fell off was Callahan wasn't here anymore, and we lost Nick Chubb. Those two guys made a huge difference, and the whole offense just fell off with Deshaun Watson and everybody, right? It actually looked pretty good with Shedeur. Like, he did enough not to lose some games, especially near the end when the defense was really grinding out sacks for miles.
Yeah. Hey, Colton, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about before we bring Stacy up?
Nope, I think I'm good. Stay warm, guys.
Good to hear from you. Yeah, you too.
Later, brother.
See ya.
All right, let's get Stacy up
Ashton's
here.
even saying, like, Nick Chubb held the whole damn team together. You know, when he was gone, everything fell apart.
Stacy.
All right, what's going on, guys? You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, what's going on?
All right. I just wanted to comment on the Deshaun Watson thing as well. I put it in the chat, but I feel like, well, number one, everybody knows that I am a Shedeur guy. And like I've said it for many reasons, and the main reason is just to laugh at everybody else if he works out. So, but I like his demeanor. I like how he talks in interviews, and I just feel like something about him, to me, I just feel like there's talent there, and we're going to see his name in the league, whether it be on our team or on another team where he is doing good. So preferably, obviously, I would love for it to be us, but with Brown's luck, who knows if that's going to happen. So, but as far as Deshaun goes, unfortunately, I do feel like we have to play him as well. And the reason being is obviously because he's on the team. He's not going anywhere. We spent the money on him. So I think the plan should be to start him next year, which I hate saying, trust me, I do. But I think you have to, or at least have some type of a quarterback battle in the off season and see how he's doing, see if he's actually worth like even playing. He might not even be worth playing, you know, but if he is and he puts up a good performance in the off season and training camp and whatnot, I would probably start him the beginning of the season. And then I would have Shedeur as obviously the QB2. And that way he does get a little bit more time to sit and develop. I mean, look at Drake May, for example. He sat and was able to develop into the quarterback that he is today. So I think that give Shedeur the time that he needs, still have him practicing with the ones, that needs to continue to happen for him, get him the reps. But just give him a little bit more time, because I'm afraid if we throw him in the first game of the year that it's just going to be a lot of media drama, number one, and it's just going to be a lot of pressure on him as like a young man starting in the league. So, yeah.
The only thing I'll say about it is with Deshaun Watson, Stacey, I think Shedeur beats him out in an open competition. And I don't even think that it would be close. I think that he's just regressed that much. I know he's on the roster, and, you know, we have to take that hit. But I'm with you. I think Shedeur Sanders could, as a talented kid, I just think we have major personnel issues on the offensive line. We all know this, and at playmaker. Especially, wide receiver.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say, too. Regardless of whoever you put back there, Deshaun, Shedeur, Mac Jones, whatever, like throw out names of quarterbacks, Malik Willis, like whoever, we don't have receivers and we don't have an offensive line. So we need to get those weapons for whoever is behind center anyways, and then go from there.
Absolutely. I don't think that any of us moving, into this draft and free agency, if, the offense isn't just absolute main priority, with, like some safety hit here and there. I don't know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at all the mock drafts right now, you're literally taking an offensive lineman first and a receiver second, or vice versa. Like, everybody's in agreement with that. Like, it was just bad. Just bad, that the depth, everything. And I mean, I even was watching the Minnesota game of all games, because I was there in London, and I was looking at that line that we had at that time. I was like, wow, that line actually is moving people. Then I realized, we don't have any of those people near the end of the season anymore. You know what I mean? And now they're gone. If you look at free agency, the whole Browns offensive line is there, other than Joel Bitonio, because he's probably going to retire. So everybody needs to be replaced. We got Dewan coming back and Whippler coming back, and that's about it.
Oh,
What about Teller? You like Teller, Kenny? You would keep him or get rid of him?
Well, he's a free agent, so they'd have to re-sign him.
He's a free agent, so but I do like him. I think he would. I thought he was trending towards replacing Bitonio as the offensive line guy that the media was going to. And when he shouted out with Njoku that, hey, we want to be here and retire as Browns forever, and then those two just fell off the face of the planet. I don't know what happened to those guys after they made those kind of claims. And so I'm a little bit like hesitant with him now, but I still love him.
Yeah. How is the offensive line like coach? Like, who's our offensive line coach right now?
Mike Bloomgren right now.
Bloomgren, yeah.
Okay. Do we think he's staying, or we'll probably get rid of him?
We have we won't know anything about the coaching staff. I guess it depends on
head coach, right?
Yep. We don't even know if Jim Schwartz is staying. We just got to wait and see who they hire.
Yep.
I'm just ready for, I'm impatient when it comes to those things. Yeah. I'm ready for head coach. Let's get it over with. I'm ready for the draft. Let's get it over with. So then we can start looking towards the next season. But yeah, I'll just watch the snow outside and hope that it comes quick.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, thanks for jumping up here, Stacey. I know Tony's got his hand up. Let's get him up here. Is Tony still in here? Yes, he is. Okay.
What's up, brother?
How we doing, guys?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just got done doing my whole driveway with a snowblower. Thank God those things exist, because this snow is horrible in Ohio today down in the south. So,
yeah.
But I just had two things to say, because I know no one really came up for the coaching stuff. Dream scenario in my head would be to have Udinski and Shieldhouse as kind of back-to-back guys. It'd kind of be more of like a one-and-done thing where Udinski would be the head coach and he would stay, and then you'd have Shieldhouse be the offensive coordinator. But I think you'd only have probably Shieldhouse for 1 year, just because if he does make a good enough impression, he'll probably go back in the head coach openings next year and become a head coach, if that was the case. But that would be my dream scenario, because if they keep Schwartz, like everyone keeps saying they plan to keep Schwartz, then I would say that there's a good chance that the defense you don't have to worry about, and then you have to bring in two offensive minds to really help out the offense. That's number one. And then number two on the quarterback thing, I don't want to see Deshaun Watson play, but you kind of said it best, is all 4, 5, 6, 7 of our quarterbacks every single year play. But I think the one thing that you need to do is keep him on as a mentor. And I say that because it seems like him, and if we're all banking on Shedeur, that him and Shedeur had a very good relationship. And I don't know if he was really helping out as much as they said he was, or whatever the case may be, because I know the quarterback coach came in and said, I don't know what we would have did without Shedeur this year, just because of how much of a presence he had in that quarterback room. You got to keep him in some way, shape, or form with that. Especially if in the film room he sees everything and is able to point that all out for Shedeur to see maybe misplays that he made or passes he did pass up. That can really help, because if you look at some of the quarterbacks who have been brought up and have been groomed, a lot of those guys all had mentor guys to, sit down with an iPad with them, show them hey, this is what you missed, this is what you could have did better, this is what you could have worked on. So I think that's the one thing that, I'm not going to say it pays for his contract, but that's what we're basically paying him for at this point.
Yeah, real quick on the head coaching point there, I really do think it's trending toward one of the young guys being hired in, because the thing is, if Jim Schwartz was not on board with being the defensive coordinator potentially underneath one of those young guys, I think you'd see him probably taking some defensive coordinator interviews, because there's a ton of those openings also across the league, as well as offensive coordinator, and his name's not out there at all. So I don't know if they're just not issuing requests, or if the Browns are just turning them down, or he's just not interested because he knows this is where I'm going to be. But I think it's definitely trending toward Udinski or Shieldhouse. This episode is sponsored by ButcherBox. Browns fans, I hope you didn't miss out on the Christmas promotion from ButcherBox, but if you did, I have great news. The promo is still running this week. Head to butcherbox.com right now, and new members will receive your choice between free New York strip, ribeye, or filet mignon in every single box for an entire year. Plus, you get an extra $20 off with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, at checkout. Just head over to butcherbox.com, choose your box and your delivery frequency. With the custom classic box, you get exactly what you and your family love. Choose from over 80 products, including meat and seafood. Plus, you can manage your entire subscription online, and you can change your box type, your product selections, your frequency, or your delivery date at any time. Shipping is always free. Deliveries come straight to your door on your schedule, and you can cancel anytime. Every meal is easier when your freezer is stocked with high-quality meat and seafood from ButcherBox. That's butcherbox.com. Right now, get your choice between free New York strip, ribeye, or filet mignon in every box for an entire year, plus $20 off with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS, when you check out. This episode is sponsored by Vivid Seats. Browns fans, the football season might be over, but Vivid Seats has you covered for everything else that's going on as we get into 2026. We've got basketball, NBA, college. You know March Madness won't be too far off. Hockey games, the spring football leagues, baseball's right around the corner, and of course, all the best events like concerts, theater plays and musicals, and comedy shows. And right now, you can get $20 off your first Vivid Seats order of $200 or more with promo code DAWGS20. That's promo code DAWGS20, DAWGS20. Not only is Vivid Seats an official fan experience partner of the Cleveland Browns, they're also the only leading ticket company with a rewards program. Buy 10 tickets and get the 11th free. So every time you make a purchase, you get closer to earning discounts, seat upgrades, and free tickets. Every purchase on Vivid Seats is backed by their 100% buyer guarantee and industry-leading customer service team. So click the link in the description to download the Vivid Seats app now. And again, get $20 off your first Vivid Seats order of $200 or more with promo code DAWGS20, DAWGS20. New customers only, $200 minimum before taxes and fees. Visit vividseats.com for more details.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a resource he was. I know Bill Musgrave really knows what he's doing as far as a quarterback coach, and he's probably the one that developed Shedeur the most. But there is probably some merit to him actually helping out. But based on what I've seen in Deshaun last year, reading a defense, I don't know how much help he's really going to be. You know what I mean?
I have a hypothetical here. If we keep Schwartz, we kept AB, and we hire, say, Udinski or Shieldhouse, what level of patience does Jimmy have with the team next year in terms of wins and losses? Because he's on the record saying this year that we had enough talent to win more than 5 games. And if you fired your coach because we didn't win more than 5 games, and then you keep 95% of everybody else who is involved in the organization, that tells me as an owner, if I'm reading Jimmy's mind, I'm saying we should be in playoff contention this year. So if we come out and we win 5 games again, what's the leash on this new coach, especially if it's some young kid?
Yeah. Just I think that, and this is just me thinking out loud, I think that that's why there's hesitation, interviewing for the Cleveland Browns head coaching position. Like if you're like a Harbaugh or, like even like a McDermott, do you really want to? I know Jimmy shells the money out, but, the word is just constantly involved in just every aspect of everything. I'm like, if you're a head coaching candidate and you've been successful, do you really want to put your career on the line to come to Cleveland? I feel like that's a negative statement, but it's just, like that's what the vibe is. And then that's what you're hearing coming back from, like national media as far as what some of the candidates are saying about it.
I mean, I feel like Jimmy, he said he had enough talent to win more than 5 games. And I think pretty much any coaching candidate around the league probably looked at that and went, what? What?
On one side of the ball.
You know what I mean? And then now, okay, so now I need to win 6, 7, 8 games now in my first year with this team, or am I going to be on the hot seat after? And especially if I mean, how many Browns coaches come to Cleveland and coached and then never got another head coaching position because we ruined them so bad they never get, almost all of them.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious. And then even that's thinking about what Jimmy's level of patience is. What as Browns fans, what's your level of patience with the guy? Because if we kept Schwartz, who everybody loves, and we kept AB, and we replaced the problem, we should win more than 5 games, right? And then if not, are we going to be screaming to be doing all this again in a year?
I think that's the position we're in no matter who we hire. I think if we would have promoted Jim Schwartz, we'd have been doing the same thing. Like, all right, we need to start winning some games or it's going to be right back to the hiring board, and it's all going to hinge on the quarterback play and who they get in here on the offensive side of the ball and everything. I'm with Colton. I think minimum 2 years probably, especially if it's one of the young guys. I mean, you got to think this is a big question being asked in these interviews. If you're making me take a personality test, I would like to know what is your expectations of me if I were to get this job. So I just don't think we were ever in play for a retread veteran head coach, especially the higher end ones. Harbaugh didn't interview with anybody except for the Giants. Has McDermott interviewed with anybody yet? I don't think he has.
I don't think so, man.
So the higher end guys, I think they either want to take the job that they think it's got the easiest path to being successful, or they're going to take a year off.
Ashton said, I think coaches would expect to beat the Jets and the Titans to win 7 games this year. And then my pushback would be, then they shouldn't expect to beat the Steelers and the Packers. And then you're right back down to 5.
Well, let's get Ashton up here anyhow, because he had his hand up there in the chat. Ashton, can you hear us? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
What's up, man?
How's things going?
Going all right. I just wanted to ask, you guys think there's any chance that Miles would ask for another trade this offseason? And if he did, would you consider trading him for like a veteran or proven players on the offense?
Well, you guys go ahead and answer a little bit of that. I'm going to pull up some contract numbers because I don't think it's even possible.
Yeah, that's where I was. I don't know the numbers. I don't think it was possible. It is possible to trade him based on the value of his contract.
We lost Josh. Hey, there
he's back.
Yeah, Discord blows, man. This I love it for everything else. For these shows, it sucks because I just lost the last ever since I popped out of there. I couldn't hear anybody or record anything. So whatever, we'll keep it rolling.
Ashton was talking about how much he didn't like you. I tried to defend you, but I don't know. You might want to say something.
So Discord was protecting me. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hey, one question for you guys. Does the personality tests and the essay, do you think that's just overblown a bit? And does it really bother you? Because I've interviewed for jobs. I've had to do those. I get the personality test. If Jimmy's going to go out there and say he wants a guy with high EQ, you're not just going to watch game tape and say he's got high EQ. You have to do the personality test, right? And if they want to go that different way, I mean, whatever. Some people break the mold, right?
I guess here's my only issue is, like, the Browns try so hard to think outside the box that maybe they need to just think inside the box at some point. You know what I mean? Like, I understand being like innovative and cutting edge, but we've literally been trying that for 25 years. Maybe just like, kind of like how we talked about for the draft. Maybe instead of trying to find diamonds just pick the guys who were big and strong and fast. Yep. So maybe just interview the guy who you think is a leader and knows the game. They all know the game, but the guy who you think can galvanize your locker room and lead these men to wins. Like, I don't know. Like, and if I'm Sean McDermott or John Harbaugh, and if Tomlin would have been interviewing, if I'm one of these top candidates, I'm like, no, I'm going to go somewhere like where they operate like a football team, not like some tech company. And then, they actually win games doing it the old fashioned way. And, while we are trying to be cutting edge, we're 800 games under 500 in our lifetime. So I don't know. It's
that we've talked about this a ton too. It's that analytical process. Everybody uses analytics. It is a tool that every NFL team uses to help them make decisions. But the key word there is help them make decisions, not use them to make the decisions, which I think the Browns do more than they should. We've talked about that with the Moneyball philosophy from Paul DePodesta. Was it takes all the emphasis off of traditional scouting, watching the tape, watching the player on the field, what they can do athletically and in the moment in the game, and they use all their analytical metrics to evaluate their prospects. Well, that's great. You should be using those things as a tool, but the number one thing you should use is, can the guy freaking play football? That's number one.
I've said it before, it should be a tool, not a crutch.
Right, exactly.
People, we all wanted John Harbaugh, to be our coach. He's one of the leading guys in analytics. He's a head coach that uses analytics almost more than anybody. But he also takes into account, it's cold today. My quarterback hasn't played well today, or maybe my quarterback's playing extremely well today. You know what I mean? We're going to go for it on this fourth down. Football is a push other grown men around kind of game.
Yes.
Looking at numbers isn't going to tell you, how does this guy respond once he just got punched in the mouth? You know what I mean? Is he going to fold, or is he going to come back and return the favor and punch back? Looking at your numbers can't tell you that kind of stuff. You can't nerd out in football. It's like you just said. Yes, okay, analytically his outside the numbers things are great, but when push comes to shove and it's about men tackling men, can this guy do it? And that's what you need to look at first and foremost. And the Browns are just constantly trying to reinvent the wheel. Turns out the wheel works.
Right.
Yeah.
It
doesn't need reinvented.
To answer the original.
It's exactly what you're saying. There's no metric for passion. You can't find that stuff in those numbers. And that's what I feel like every draft class, except last year, has missed. There's just not passionate guys that want to stay in the league. Look at Jed Wills. You think the guy's passionate? No way, man. That guy wants to he wanted to be 100% healthy. You're never 100% healthy ever in the NFL. This just didn't make sense. I mean, Schwartz wasn't passionate about football, the receiver. I don't even know if Ced Till is passionate about football. These guys don't, live and die for the game that they've had. And that's where the big miss is, on the draft classes for Barry the previous years.
Yeah, let's
2025.
Let's get Brad up here to close things out today. Real quick to answer that question though. I think everything about the Browns hiring process has been overblown with that information coming out by the media and everything, because I don't think it's crazy to ask a head coaching candidate to take a personality test or to do it write me a short essay on why you want to be the head coach. You're a very important figure in this organization as the head coach. So I guess that's okay to ask of them. It's just the historical process that's led them astray at times, I think. But
I guess with the whole essay thing, instead of saying, hey, write me an essay about wanting to be the Cleveland Browns head coach, just sit down with them and ask them the question. What are you bringing to the table as our head coach? I don't want a written essay. I want you to do it on the fly, man. I want you to tell me why you're passionate about this team like I'm passionate about this team.
Yeah, look him in the eyes.
Tell me about it.
What are you going to do for us? Yeah, grammar and sentence structure should not matter as the head coach, I guess. So that's a good point, Justin.
Not 10th grade.
Chat GPT, write me an essay on why I want to be the Cleveland Browns head coach.
No results found.
Because I'm a glutton for punishment.
Seriously, so say there's 3 teams that still need a head coach. All right. Out of everybody that's available out there for become a head coach, who is one person, and some of us are pretty on the Udinski Fieldhouse thing, but being Sean McDermott's still out there, and what's weird is we've heard nothing about him, where Harbaugh was oh, he might go here, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. Sean McDermott's fired, nothing, just off a cliff kind of thing. Who would you really like to see as the Cleveland Browns' next head coach?
Well, maybe McDermott's going to take a year off.
That's what I think. He's going to Vrabel this thing.
Because, I mean, like right now, if you're looking at the 3 openings that are still available, if you're a Sean McDermott, do you want to take any? Do you want to go from coaching the Bills to the Browns? I sure as crap wouldn't.
Not the
go
Cardinals
from having
either.
Josh Allen to who knows what at quarterback. So I could see him taking a year off, waiting for a better position to open. They kind of fired him late. Obviously, well, I mean, they were in the playoffs, but I don't, if I have to pick of who the available candidates are, I'm probably going with Grant to be the head coach. If not, then I take, despite my concerns about the lack of experience, I would go with Shieldhouse as my second option because of the coaching tree that he's coming from, seeing how the Rams, run their organization. He's at least learned from kind of like a genius in McVay. So he'd be my second. And then under like I'd almost just rather not have a head coach, if it's going to be Todd Monken or honestly Jim Schwartz. So it's got to be one of those 2 guys.
I agree with you.
I'm going with Schwartz is if Shieldhouse is coming as like assistant head coach and offensive coordinator or something like that. I think Josh has sold me on Udinski though.
Yeah, I'd be Udinski or Shieldhouse as my preference. Can we talk about one other thing that's been driving me absolutely crazy? I need somebody to talk me off the ledge of a head or of a coaching hire that I'm not happy about. Can we talk about
it? Oh man, you're sitting in the red. Oh god, yeah. I thought.
What are we doing?
I thought
what are we doing
last night?
That's what we can close the show with this. That is disgusting.
I puked.
I was so excited to hear you guys about this.
Oh,
Josh, you're an alum. I would be telling them you want a refund on your tuition dollars.
I'm embarrassed to be an alum of this school. Yeah. So anybody who didn't catch the news or doesn't know what we're talking about still, the Buckeyes have hired Arthur Smith as their new offensive coordinator. Probably my least favorite coach in the history of everything. I hate that. Hate him.
The only thing that would have been worse is if they hired Matt Canada.
Right. Okay.
No,
that's a good.
I'd say Pat Shurmur. Pat Shurmur would have been worse. And I couldn't stand that
down
guy.
in Colorado.
Here's what's crazy is like people have compared it a little bit to the Patricia thing because like Patricia was kind of like on his way out of the NFL a little bit because of the Lions debacle. But like, there's no doubt that Matt Patricia was like a great defensive mind.
Right.
Okay. I'm not convinced that Arthur Smith is an offensive mind. He had Bijan Robinson and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and all these people, Tyler Algier, and he couldn't do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And then the Pittsburgh offense the last 2 years has been anemic at best. It's just, I don't know. I watched the national championship game. I'm watching Miami get Malachi Toney the ball, and I'm thinking, like, why can't Ohio State get Jeremiah Smith the ball in these creative ways? And that was before we had Arthur Smith.
Yep.
Now I'm like, what are we doing? To me, like, who they picked was going to be one of the biggest decisions because I don't think Ryan Day is a great play caller. I know some people get really mad at me for saying that. I don't think he's a great play caller, and I think it became increasingly obvious. Like you noticed right away, why does the offense look like garbage all of a sudden? Oh, Ryan Day's calling the plays. Brian Hartline's not calling the plays anymore. I don't think he's a great play caller. I honestly don't even know if I would consider him a great play designer. Like we don't run much motion. We don't do creative things. I don't know. Like we out athletic everybody is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like I thought it was who they picked as offensive coordinator was going to be extremely important. They went with maybe the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL.
Okay, good. So not just disgusting. Me. So two things on Twitter I saw last night. I think it was Derek Brown from Fantasy Pros said, and this, he's not an Ohio State guy, but he said Ohio State just went from wide receiver U into tight end 2U. And then the best meme I saw was a meme of Chad Powers, and it said Jonnu Smith next year at Ohio State.
I saw that, made me laugh really
hard because that's it. Jonnu Smith is the only one who can succeed in that offense, and that's it. He sucks. Arthur Smith sucks. I'm pissed.
Yeah, to Blake's point about offense, the best the OSU's offense has ever looked with Ryan Day is when Chip Kelly was here. It was the most inventive. We had wide open dudes down the field. We saw in the playoffs last year, like our offense was just like streaking down the field with passes, and with a freaking a quarterback that came from Kansas State.
Yep, Will Howard.
Yeah, Will Howard came from Kansas State and came and just was lighting up all the teams. And and you looked like our offense looked pretty decent before Ryan got the head coaching job in USF, and then Ryan Days with his intelligence is like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take some pressure off of Brian and call the plays. Well, that worked out real well.
I just think Ryan Day gets incredibly conservative when he calls plays. Just incredibly conservative. It's vanilla, beyond vanilla. It's like the Michigan game besides this year. Even the play calling in the Michigan game this year wasn't, just bullied them up front finally, and ran the ball down their throats. So I could talk about how much I don't like Arthur Smith like the next 2 hours. So
it's bad, man.
Get off this and wrap it up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up
because I so disappointing. That was so disappointing. Wow.
Terrible news.
Yeah. All right. We'll wrap this thing up. We appreciate everybody who jumped in the Discord. Again, if you want to be a part of these, even if some people are gun shy, they don't like getting up on stage and talking, you can see you have the chat on the side of the screen. You can be constantly getting your input in on these shows. And then once you get the courage, I don't know, maybe take a shot, then you can jump up on stage and talk with us during an episode. And like I said, this is the way this chat goes during these Discord episodes. That's the way the chat in the Discord is 24/7. So Browns, Buckeyes, NASCAR for some reason.
Harry Potter,
like NASCAR, Harry Potter, like video games. They're everything in there. So that's jointhedogs.com. If you want to become a Dog Pack member, join this Discord, play fantasy football with us next year, all that good stuff. But hopefully next time we see you, we'll be talking about who we officially hired as the head coach, and we can kind of put this search behind us and kind of start looking into free agents and draft prospects and how the offense is going to look. So exciting times here. Maybe at least we're not hiring Arthur Smith in Cleveland. No, he's just going to go destroy the one good thing us Browns fans have, the Buckeyes. He's going to go destroy that. So, but we appreciate everybody who's hanging out with us. Hopefully you guys are staying warm, staying safe during the storm, and we'll see you guys later this week.
Let's go Browns. Ho, 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 ho.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at the Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
This episode is sponsored by Kalshi. Browns fans, are you ready to put your money where your predictions are? With Kalshi, America's #1 regulated prediction market, you can legally trade on events that actually matter to you. And the best part is you don't need to predict specific stat lines and compile a 7-leg parlay to win big. With Kalshi, the objective is either yes or no. Which team will win the Super Bowl? Who will be the next head coach of the Cleveland Browns or whatever other team is looking for a head coach? Will Fernando Mendoza be the first pick in the NFL draft? You can put your money on these predictions and more with Kalshi. If you want to try it out, Kalshi is giving $20 to anyone who signs up at kalshi.com/dogs, DAWGS, and trades $100. And right now, I believe there's a promo going on for $10 if you just sign up with kalshi.com/dogs, even without trading the $100. So get away with disadvantageous sports books and dive into real world outcomes with real-time odds and real payouts. Head over to kalshi.com/dogs, DAWGS, or click the link in the description below to get $20 when you trade $100 on Kalshi. That's Kalshi, because why shouldn't you get paid for being right?